The new Pokémon Horizons episode was so brilliantly fantastic, emotional, and utterly bonkers in such a brutal, murderous way that this video intro will never do it justice. It was genuinely a 10 out of 10 episode that made me feel so much, especially some tears in my eyes. It took a real unique approach to evolution, and I really hope you guys enjoy everything I have to say about it. Be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy, and now let's dive into my review of episode 118. So basically, throughout the episode, we kept seeing Hattrem showing empathy to others to a whole new extreme. For example, she lets Charcadet eat all of her food, she lets Meowscarada get petted by Liko instead of her, and when Liko and Anne go hunting for Ditto blocks in the terrarium, Hattrem is super worried about harming the Ditto. It's like she can't stop putting everyone else ahead of her, even when she doesn't have to, even when it's to her own detriment. She's always worrying about everyone else, always bending to their demands, and Anne seems to notice all of this about Hattrem. More on that later in the video. It was pretty fun seeing the Ditto block hunting mechanic from the games portrayed in the anime, although I've got to confess, I remember finding it way harder than Liko seems to be finding it. When I was playing Scarlet and Violet, I couldn't find those Dittos for the life of me. And to prove my point even more, Liko even casually finds a shiny Ditto. I was screaming at my screen for Liko to try and catch it, but alas, she didn't. Man, it would have been so cool having a shiny Rayquaza, shiny Zygarde, shiny Lucario, and a shiny Ditto all on the main cast. And it would have been accurate to Legends ZA too, where catching shiny Pokemon is so absurdly easy and effortless now that they basically have no value. I'm just kidding, they still have value to me. Afterwards, Liko's Charcadet and Anne's Samurott have a quick training battle, and I love that in the Blueberry arc so far, even with the battle training not being the main focus, at least we're still getting little glimpses of it, you know? It makes it feel like all of our heroes' Pokemon are still getting stronger, even if it's not the main topic of the episode. After the battle, Liko asks Hattrem for help with making some sandwiches for everyone, and little Hattrem seems really excited too. But then Meowscarada butts in and demands Hattrem to heal Charcadet instead, so once again, Hattrem puts that ahead of what she wants to do. But thankfully Liko notices at this time too, and she gently reminds Hattrem that she should choose what she wants to do. She doesn't have to bow down to or prioritize everyone else all the time. You see, Liko thinks that Hattrem is kind of being forced to act that way, like she feels pressured to. Shortly after, Anne has a heart-to-heart conversation with Liko, and Anne explains to Liko that she sees herself and her childhood in Hattrem. She thinks Hattrem is really similar to herself. You see, Anne then reveals that she's a middle child, between a younger brother and an older sister, and because she was always in the middle as a kid, she always felt forced to do whatever her siblings wanted. Or that's what people around her assumed anyway. Assumed falsely, because in reality, Anne was happy to always be there for her siblings. She confesses that she wanted to do that because she loved them so much. People misread her kindness and empathy as an obligation, and the parallel hits Liko immediately. Hattrem seems to be the exact same between Meowscarada and Charcadet. Meowscarada is like the older child, Charcadet is like the younger child, and Hattrem is the middle child. But despite what she initially falsely assumed, Hattrem has never been forced or pressured to be there for other people. She isn't being pushed around by Charcadet or Meowscarada. She wants to be there for everybody because that's just who Hattrem is. She builds her happiness around giving other people happiness. Yeah, she's the middle child, but I don't think that Hattrem would have it any other way. And man, what a fantastic analogy that I never even thought of. I'm a middle child too, so I know that feeling all too well. I really did not expect to relate so heavily to this little pink blob in this episode, and I really did not expect family-sibling dynamics to be involved in the episode in such a heavy way, but it's such a unique topic that I can't really remember ever being covered in the Pokemon anime before. I love that the writers are still coming up with unique storylines and themes even after 30 years, and now it makes total sense why Anne so immediately clocked onto what was going on with Hattrem. She has been through it herself, and the idea of portraying how Liko catching Charcadet and completely shifting the dynamic of their team, of their family, and how that affected Hattrem on a personal level, that's seriously incredible, man. It really goes to show how much the writers are thinking about these Pokemon as individual people. Also, I've got to admit, there's something hilarious about Anne casually revealing she has a brother and sister, like 118 episodes in. Considering back in the early days of Horizons, the biggest theory was that Anne's brother is secretly a Metheo and her sister is secretly Coral. Are we really going to have a resurgence of those theories now that Anna's confirmed that she has siblings? What an unexpected reveal 118 episodes in. So Liko calls Hattrem over to make sandwiches with her, and they have the sweetest heart-to-heart moment of all time. They reminisce on how far Hattrem has come since they first met, and then Liko thanks her wholeheartedly for always being there for everyone else, for always bringing others happiness. Liko is proud of Hattrem that she has both the willingness to help others, and also to do what she wants to do simultaneously, because really they're one and the same. And then Liko tells Hattrem that being with her makes her a better and more happy person, and Hattrem genuinely bursts into tears, man. It's so heart-wrenchingly sweet. I even had some tears in my eyes watching it. For the first time it feels like someone is returning the love and kindness to Hattrem that Hattrem has been so freely given out to everybody else. She's getting a taste of her own medicine in the most wholesome way ever. And everything about this scene, from the writing to the music to the animation to the emotions, it was so beautiful. And it clearly hits Hattrem super hard, because when she hugs Liko tightly, mind the rhyme, she begins glowing brightly. Everyone around her is absolutely amazed and stunned as she evolves into a Hatterene. Finally! And the way she's holding Liko feels so Nihilego coded. Man, what an absolutely perfect evolution. I know it wasn't caused by a battle or anything, but it's such a brilliant idea for Hattrem to be compared to a middle child, never being put first. But then when Liko finally realised who Hattrem truly is, not some middle child victim, but instead someone who chooses to act that way out of sheer love for others, that's what gives Hattrem the power and freedom to become who she truly is, an evolved Hatterene. It's such a unique idea for an evolution, and it was executed perfectly. For me, the emotions hit way harder because it was in a heart-to-heart character growth scene, rather than a typical battle. And I have a lot more to say about this evolution towards the end of the video, so make sure you stick around for that. So our heroes are admiring Hatterene, and Anne is pretty much repeating everything I just said, and Hatterene is so funny, man. The way she moves around really walks the line between stylish but also creepy. The Pokedex really wasn't lying when it called her the Forest Witch. She proper gives off those vibes. Shortly after, Liko and her Pokemon enter a cave to find a Ditto who's being terrorized by a bunch of Dynamo and Eelektross. And bro, I have a problem because every single time I see a Pokemon in danger or peril, I always immediately jump to, you need to save it and bond with it and catch it, Liko. You can't leave the little guy out there in the dangerous world by himself. Like seriously, if I had my way, Liko would have like 50 rotating Pokemon by now. So really, it's a good thing they don't listen to me, right? Anyway, Charcadet begins battling the wild Pokemon, and Liko is really surprised when Meowscarada and Hatterene low-key begin commanding Charcadet in the battle too. It's so clear that this team are so closely bonded that they have that trust in each other, man. And it makes the whole middle child topic make way more sense, because they really are like siblings, or like a family. So the battle continues, and somehow Charcadet manages to take down 12 or 13 Pokemon all by himself. This little fella literally just 1v13'd and won. He is actually insane. But then when their leader, this huge scary Eelektross, appears, it's finally time for Hatterene to shine. And oh boy, Hatterene really went from empath to bloodthirsty, from psychic type to psycho type. Man, I wish I came up with that line myself. Hatterene literally squares up to the huge Eelektross. She gives it the craziest, most unsettling, horrifying smirk of all time, and then she uses her magic powers to absolutely wreck the guy's brain, all while creepily saying something that sounds like lemon. And that's not all. Her new move, Psycho Cut, OKOs Eelektross. And that's not all. She then uses Heal Pulse to revive Eelektross, before hitting it again with Psycho Cut, knocking it out again. And then she revives it with Heal Pulse again, then immediately knocks it out with Psycho Cut again, then she revives it again. I am actually speechless right now. Hatterene is absolutely insane. I love her so much. The idea of repeatedly beating up and then reviving and then beating up and then reviving and then beating up and then reviving an enemy over and over and over until they're so traumatized and so terrified of you that they can't even dare to think of battling again is so peak, dude. So unbelievably shocking and horrifying. Hatterene basically tortured the guy. What a funny switch up from Hattrem's personality. Liko really told Hattrem she should do whatever she wants in life, and Hatterene chose violence. But of course, she's still very loving towards Liko, just as loving as Anne is towards Liko, because Anne requested diamond dust weather in the terrarium for Liko. She wanted to make her happy after how much she's put on her shoulders. Once again, Anne is the greatest of all time for doing this for Liko. What an incredible friend. First, she helped with Hattrem, now she did this. Best character in Pokémon Horizons, I'm telling you. Also, diamond dust is an insane thing to include in an episode. It's been a small Easter egg in the Pokémon games ever since Diamond and Pearl, and it's never been portrayed in the anime before. It's so pretty and beautiful. I wasn't expecting it whatsoever, and the good times keep rolling, because then Roy and Dot's reactions to Hatterene was so wholesome. The episode then ended with Liko finding out that Briar is ready to share her research on Pogogo. I've spoken so much about this episode already, so you guys already know how I feel overall. I thought it was absolutely exceptional. The storytelling and character moments were just on another level. Other than Fuecoco's evolution, I think this is my favourite evolution in the whole of Pokémon Horizons, and it's definitely the most unique and most mature, emotional one by far in my opinion. I truly adore how this episode handled Hattrem's character growth, and I absolutely love how wild Hatterene's personality is too. It makes so much sense that she's so chaotic and confident and gloriously unhinged now, because this is the real her truly on display, coming out more bold than ever. For so long, everybody falsely looked at Hattrem and assumed she was some timid, restricted, pushed around little Pokemon, when in reality she was doing what she wanted from her own will the entire time, just because of how much she loves everyone. And then the moment where someone finally understands her, finally sees her for who she really is, she then evolves into a more bold, expressive force of nature, and even more true version of herself. A version where she can show who she truly is in the most bold way ever. That shift in her character felt so natural, so earned, so deep. So much better than when a Pokemon evolves and suddenly changes personality for no reason at all. I have so much respect for the writers for actually explaining and grounding her evolution and changing character. It's such a smart, thoughtful, emotionally deep way to develop a Pokemon. And Anne was the absolute GOAT in this episode. Her friendship with Liko and her care for Hattrem was so sweet and perfectly written, and I love how Liko gave Hattrem the safe space to be ready to evolve and take independence. They were both wonderful in this episode. And on top of that, we also got cool Charcadet training and battle moments, fun game mechanics like the Ditto blocks and Diamond Dust. So overall, I wholeheartedly mean it when I say this was a 10 out of 10 episode. By far the best one in this arc so far, and I can't wait to see what comes next. Let me know your thoughts on episode 118 in the comments below, and be sure to like and subscribe too if you feel like it. We're so close to 150k subscribers, so I'd really appreciate that. I also make YouTube shorts regularly now too, so go check those out, and thank you so much to all of my legendary channel members. Shiny Charm, Jay, Pokesan, Shareborn, Melissa, Hope, Not Mini, Juscadia, Toten, Fizz. I really appreciate you guys. And yeah, on that note, thank you all so much for watching, and best wishes until we meet again!